like someone, it was the other day, like this kid started like doing these beatboxing, and the dad just suddenly started saying like, you're going to be the best beatboxer in the world. You're going to go on tour. You can do this. And he's got the best intentions of like, oh, I want to support him and let him know that anything's possible, as opposed to like just connecting him with what that person's doing. Like, oh, I see that you're connecting with the rhythm with that, or like sharing something that's like really authentic with that. Oh, is it like, that's so cool that you're creating that new thing. What are some other sounds that you can make, and explore in the here and the now with what they're actually doing, and validating their journey and what they're actually where they're at, not trying to then superimpose where they're going to be, or what they can monetize that with, or whatever it might be, like how they go, and
The whole idea of what do you want to be when you grow up?
because again, that's a whole other layer, of pressure, and
so much praise, hey? Like Carmita talks about that, like overpraising our children.
Another thing on that, instead of saying, particularly with little kids as well, like, oh, you're so good at that, you're so good at that. Is that fun for you?
Yeah.
How are you feeling when you do that thing?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Encouraging like their sense of who they are in that, and not being good or bad. That's something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like in the work we are doing, like I feel I unlearn so much all the time because I have this background in daycare where everything was basically just
Positive affirmations.
just to like present it to the parents.
Uh-huh.
It's like we show you how great your kid is. Like I put this onto like, you know, rather than really being with the kids, which was the reason why I left, because I felt like I wasn't with the children, as like I'm this like vessel between the parents and the children, because parents put their kids there and want to see at the end of the day, want to see results, and want to be like, oh my god, you know, I see what a great day you had, how much you were drawing, how good you did this yoga pose.
Smart they are.
But I'm like, it's not about that. It's about the way, like how, like in the moment, how we did it, and if they wanted to by themselves come in and do it, and
Totally.
lots to learn and unlearn.
Yeah. I also find we just touched on there is when there are maybe I'll cover this a bit more with the like certain transitions with parents, but one of the things I find is really helpful is to give certain insights, and again it's a balance, and it's an art to not just explain the challenging aspects of the young person, or just all the positive things, and just go, oh yeah, they were fine today, or whatever. Because a lot of the times the kids will just be like, oh yeah, it was a good day. Like they might not speak that much, or even if the ones that do speak a lot, they might have just like some sort of like weird perspective on things too. And so it can actually be really helpful to give like some really clear handover information of, hey, I noticed this was playing out, and a useful tool, like giving them tools of what actually worked as well. Like, for example, one that I use often is they really needed the boundaries of like the boundaries expressed to them really clearly, and for them to reinforce it, to like repeat it to me before I felt that they understood it, and then from there then I needed to be onto them, and then they actually responded really well once they were held within those boundaries. And I often have to share that with parents, especially in this area, who don't particularly know how to establish boundaries and then hold them. And so that's a really helpful tool, because I'm not only I'm helping the kid by giving the parent the frame, like the container that they actually are thriving and doing better in, but also I'm trying to train the parents on how to do that. And it's very hard to do in a handover when there's a bunch of other kids hanging around and stuff. And I think that's a whole other layer of this work is peaceful parenting and how to do that. And even role plays where parents get used to being the worst person that they could imagine being, like expressing a boundary that then has to be held even when the person's telling them, oh, that you're the worst mum ever or whatever. And that's usually where they get broken down, and then they end up having none. And then the kids don't have that certain container, and then life becomes a lot harder for them as well. Like all the other bodies, like relationships and situations that they go into, they don't really know how to respect boundaries or how to respect the containers because they haven't got it from their home situation. So it's a bit of a tangent just now, but I just felt to speak to that because it can be really helpful. Even just having a few really you'll notice patterns in working with young people, and then just having those clear phrases that might help. Like I just shared, just being able to say to a parent, oh yeah, hey, it's really helpful for them to have things explained clearly and for them to agree to it, and then for you to actually stick to your guns when they're pushing against those things. And that actually works really well for them. And then the parent will be like, oh, okay. And it actually gives them that layer of permission, gives them that layer of understanding, oh, this works, because they're often just like making it up as they're going along and trying to like work it out on the fly anyway. And so they don't have that sounding board so much. So we're actually doing a massive favor for them and for the kids in the community of being able to give that clear sounding board of the stuff that we've noticed that then can help them.
And can create some of the biggest impacts.
Yeah.
Like the children coming, we just do 1 day a week at Bush School can create so much change in their lives, and we've seen it happen. But if we can share those little reflections like in a really clear way, it just will create the biggest change for them in their lives. And that's like what it's all about.
If the parents can embody that at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you do parent training days?
We definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's
Well, we're doing one
funny
today. There's a few parents
Yeah.
here now.
Because it's always a working together, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
it's always, you can only do so much, but you need
Yeah.
that other side as well.
Yeah. And that's why it's like it's the village.
Yeah.
It's the village. Yeah.
So I'm just we'll break for some lunch or something soon. It's nearly 12, but I'm just running through some of this stuff. Did anyone have a chance to have a look at it? I know we sent it pretty late last night.
I read half.
Yeah, cool.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, sweet, nice. Sorry, we would have liked to have. Yeah. The fist. Yeah. The mind map.
What's going on with that? Yeah. I was
Yeah,
just like,
I'll run through that with you a bit today as well. But yeah, well, again, it was like initially it was just going to be my notes that I'd be able to keep track of things, and then started putting more valuable information that then I thought could be take home. And then I was about to send it out a few days ago. Mugsy's like, this seems harsh. Like you're just kind of like dot pointing like stuff that doesn't really even make sense to anyone else. So then she made
I need to
so
systemize it.
so she made it more beautiful
kinda.
and presentable. And yeah.
No, so I literally was like, wow, this is so thoughtful and
Oh,
like,
nice.
kind. that you
Oh,
guys had
cool.
said that.
Yeah, sweet.
So much valuable information in there.
So what I thought would be nice just before lunch is I'll just run through a few of these, just the headings of these, and then I'm going to do a practice of actually passing around pieces of paper, and I've got a few pens here, and if anyone else needs a pen. But I thought, and I can just reflect on like some of these answers over lunch as well, because I really like the whole like choose your own adventure model of life, but also this work and yeah, like with the kids as well, like having this certain